Alright, it's your boy Al backwards, the secret ingredient. Sitting here with your average nobody, dominating over everybody. Yan Doe in the house. We're back at it again with another deep dive. Let's get it.
Yeah. It's good with it.
So first, I want to ask this question first. Clear Blue Yonder.
Yeah.
Clear Blue Yanda.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
100% intentional, bro.
Tell us about it.
It was a play on my government name, but then the flip side, I'm from the South, you know what I mean? So we use over yonder a lot. So I'm like, you know what I mean, just to kind of little nod and wink to Alabama, where I'm from, and at the same time, just, you know, being true to who I am. So
shout out to Alabama.
Hell yeah.
Yo, so that saying actually, the Blue Yonder, it's about going into the mysterious.
Going out into the...
And that kind of, in my mind, plays into the alien.
Yes. So this track in particular is actually a remix of a remix. Alien, the Return Mix is just a remix album, a track that I did 10 years ago. This is a remix of a remix that actually appeared on an album I did years ago. That album was called Clear Blue Yanda. So each iteration of this track has been very personal to me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't necessarily to tie into the whole concept of Alien. It was just like whenever I do one of these Clear Blue Yanda tracks, it's like really I try to talk about whatever aspect of my life is going on at that time. I try to make that track in particular really personal to my life. So this being going out and, you know, Alien being, you know, the return mix, it's like, well, where is Yanda at this time? Where in the Clear Blue Yanda? Where are we at in the Clear Blue Yanda trilogy, I guess we call it this time out. And that's what this track is.
Yo, that's dope. That gave me chills. I didn't really know that part of it. So this speaks to who you are as a man in this particular
moment in time.
Yes. There we go.
Yes.
Okay, well, shoot, let's just get into it and start with the lyrics.
That's what's up. So, the track, the original version from the first Alien was, before I get into that, was actually produced by Devoir.
Okay.
And so for this return mix, a lot of the tracks I took on production on my own. So I wanted to redo this. This was one of my favorite tracks, so he killed the remix of it. So when I came into this, again, going with that whole, trying to make sure there was connective tissue between the original Alien and this album, I tried to keep his BPM. I tried to keep the energy from what he had given me originally. Let's get into it.
Hey.
Alien, unnaturalized, foreign, unfamiliar, strange, of or from another world. Alien.
So right out the gate, we wanted to give the definition of alien. And, you know, because a lot of people just take it, you say alien, people are thinking extraterrestrial or illegal immigrants, whatever. There's all these different connotations behind alien. And so I had her, specifically what she's doing is reading the definition of alien. And while, it has extraterrestrial, has different, but some of the things that really stood out to me was strange, different, and then of course she ends up from another world, alien, because that's what alien is. Alien is foreign. It's not something you're used to. It's not your everyday. And that's really what I feel like I try to do from a musical standpoint is I try to be different. I try to be as different as possible. Like, you know what I mean? Your hip hop, I said it in other lines, like your hip hop isn't my hip hop because what I do is what I do. I'm not trying to emulate or be anybody else. So that was kind of the genesis of that intro piece that she spoke.
You face to face with a better me. Surprisingly, I'm not that guy that they said I'd be. I'm not in jail, I'm not 6 feet. Despite some exes, I'm present, I'm not a deadbeat. Yeah.
So right out the gate, just any minority, in particular, a black youth at the time, you know, one of the reasons I left Alabama was in a situation where, I mean, the judge literally told me, and you either gonna get killed or you're in jail. Those are your options at this point. And I'm thankful my parents decided it was better for me to get out of those situations and put me in a different situation. So kind of just touching on that right out the gate, just like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that, and a lot of us as minorities have probably heard it, you're not going to make it to 18. You're not going to make it that. So surprisingly, I'm not that, I'm not that dude. I'm here, you know what I mean? And so just to go on and touch on it, I'm not the guy that they said I'd be, I'm not in jail, I'm not 6 feet, and I'm here, I do my thing for my, my family is my number one priority, so I'll drop everything for my family, so that was that.
Before you go on, just the first bar, even and with your explanation, you're looking at a better me.
Yes. Yeah, and that's basically what it is. And so, again, it plays to the whole alien thing in some of the tracks. I say, I've evolved. This is an evolution of me. Mm-hmm. And so that's 100%. It's like you're looking at a better me. You know what I mean? I'm not the dude I was 10 years ago. I'm not the dude I was 20 years ago. You can't make those connections anymore. You know what I mean? So that was kind of just like, well, you face to face with a better me. Surprisingly, I'm not the guy that they said I'd be. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean?
That too speaks volumes because... as every person of color, whatever we want, black, Moor, Egyptian, whatever it is you identify as in your darkness, niggas. Whatever you identify as in that, we all know that throughout all of life, even as a young kid, we have to get the talk.
Yes.
As to why the deck is stacked against us.
Yes.
Why, we can't do the same things this kid can do because we're not kids.
Yep.
We're black kids.
Yep.
And that's a huge difference.
Yep.
Powerful right out the gate. I love this song.
Thank you.
I had some beef, you lucky I chose peace. Could've deaded them all, but fuck it, I let them breathe. Over beats, my pedigree is self-explanatory. From the start, I got among men, but that ain't half the story.
So that whole, I got to touch on that from a bunch of perspectives. First of all, just being, typical shit, you had some beefs. And again, talking about the evolution, it's like the old me, man, I would have fucking ran through your whole shit. Like, fuck who you with. We it's just been problems. And as I've evolved, that's like I said, like I had beefs. I mean, y'all lucky I chose peace. Like you didn't get off the hook. You didn't get away with nothing. I know what you did, but it's like, I have to choose peace. Some shit you gotta let go. So that's kind of what that line was about. And then of course, I said from the start of God Among Men, but that ain't half the story. So God Among Men was this group. It was a rock group that got started in Reno in like the 90s. And like around the time when I first moved out here. So I don't even know how I met the cat. Tricky ended up being my DJ. And he brought me over to their house. They all lived together. So in one room, me and him would be doing hip hop rap. And they're over here doing rock. And it was like it was a family thing. We get over there, hanging out, partying. I'm a teenager at the time, just really I'm picking up from the beginning of my life at this point when I say God Among Men, that ain't half the story because that really was the culmination of the first album I ever put out was recorded over there with Tricky, which I see in the next line follows up. It's Tricky when you stick it to the script. It's kind of like a play on words, like, cause Tricky was my DJ, he was my dude, he's the one that introduced me to them. He put out my first album. He actually sparked my love for production because at the time I was just a rapper. I had just, notebooks and just rhymes, and I would go over there and hang out with him, and he would just watching him sample. I just take that little chop of the sample, and I think at the time he was using a Roland S50, and just a dope ass producer. So that was kind of what that line came from. That God Among Men. It was just kind of just a nod to him, like, what's up? You know what I mean? This you guys kind of give me my start. So that's why I flow up for that. God Among Men, but that ain't half the story. It's Tricky. And then he goes, when you stick it to the script, but we'll get there.
When you stick it to the script, but most of the time it be them niggas that you with that and load up the clip and put holes in your shit. Just when you think it's over with, here we go again.
So that particular line, we all have fallen out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think falling out with people is one thing, but it's another thing when them dudes that's supposed to be your people is plotting on you. You know what I mean? And
that's the worst.
That is the worst, my brother. That is the worst. And what makes it harder for me too is like when you don't find out about that shit until somebody in their inner circle hasn't fallen out with them, and they feel like to pull you over to their side of the argument. Oh, by the way, did you know? And I was like, I'd be like, I always felt something was off, but it's like, thank you for telling me, but now I don't trust you neither because this is something you could have brought to me. Like,
because by the way, you knew it then.
Yep. Don't bring it to me now because you mad at somebody. This is something like it could have got real at any moment. So that's kind of what that line, and I know a lot of people have dealt with that. It's just like I said, it's the one. That's why I said, here we go again, because it's like your people, like, so you got to start over from scratch and cut motherfuckers out of your life. So that's what that was.
Yeah, it's got me staring through my blinds while I'm holding my 9 and waiting for my time to come. But till then, I'ma fight, bet my soul on this mic, give them dough when I write, let them know I'ma rise.
That's the game, that's the muscle voice. Man, go harder, so. Come on, man. They should be saying I ain't going out like that, when they thought I lost. And roast me, actually, so many times I had to pick myself up when I thought I was running down and out until the end. And we back again.
Who would have thought in a million years I still hold it down, still get it in. After all the scars and the battles, all the friends that I lost on this road less traveled.
And that's just kind of that line, that whole line, and even following up is just kind of continuing off of what I was saying. I've been in this scene for a hot minute. You know what I mean? And I'm still doing it. You know what I mean? So that's who thought in a million years. I mean, I still be getting it in. You know what I mean? And I've lost a lot of friends, family. You know what I mean? And it goes into like. First of all, I'm not afraid to say anything in anybody's face. So if you ever hear a song and I'm referencing something, if you ever feel it's about you, holla at me. But it is what it is.
Because it might be, but it also might not be. You might just be in your own feelings.
Exactly. Because you
did something. Yeah, because you know something that happened with one of the other shady motherfuckers.
Yes. And so that's kind of what that line leads into.
Some couldn't hang, some said I changed, some was screaming gang. In reality, they was lames. It's just some shit I can't explain. So now when I see them on these streets, I don't look at them the same now.
It's just typical shit, you know what I mean? All the drama shit, like all the dirt I done heard motherfuckers put on my name. And like if you don't really know me, if you just taking your information from secondhand, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm a very chill dude. I'm very laid back. I don't like to be in none of the drama shit. Like to the point where I'll remove myself from the picture before I get
You chose peace.
Yes, exactly. And so when I hear all this shit about me, and it's like cats that still to this day smile on my face and like, you know what I mean? It's like, I see you, you know what I mean? I may not address it, but I see you, I know, you know what I mean? I know. So that's kind of what that was. Really, this song as a whole was like an exorcism of a lot of demons and a lot of shit I was just holding in. I just wanted to get off my chest, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what the end of the first verse leading into this verse was about, you know what I mean? Cat said I changed, you know what I mean? Well, that's what we here to do, right? If we stay the same the whole time, then what's the point? You know what I mean? I won't speak any names, but that line about some was claiming gang, you know what I mean, was very relevant in that when I say that, you know, someone's scheming gang, in reality they was lanes, it's like these same cats that was saying you was down with me, come to find out is the cats that's, you know what I mean, talking shit about me behind my back. In so many words, it's like you were supposed to be on the team with me, you know what I mean? But not, you the cat same one speaking on me, so that's why when I see you, it ain't no beef. We're not fighting. It's none of that. But I don't look at you like we can't poly like we used to. That's the past.
And just because I'm not upside your noggin doesn't mean I don't know what you did and who you are. So this is an arm's length.
Yes.
Listen to the song and stay at arm's length. That's you.
Exactly. 100%. And I think I even say that at one point. I said,
I'm holding on to trust issues.
I think he's talking about right now.
Should I really fuck with you? A knife with a heart of slug with love gets you. I just call it how I see it, where the shoe of the shit fits you. I do my dirt up on my lonely, especially since my God passed and he threw dirt on my home.
That part right there make me, every time I say that line. So I do. When I say I do my dirt by my lonely, I do. Most of the shit, the older me, I'm a much more mature individual, but shit I would do in the past, I mean, if you tell one person, that's one person too many. That's how you get caught up. So that's really what I'm speaking to there. I do my dirt alone. You'll never, if I am doing something dirty, you ain't gonna know about it because ain't nobody else gonna know about it. You know what I mean? But then the flip side is like, man, that's especially when my guy passed up. One of the first labels I signed with, my buddy was an R&B singer on their label, and he's like, yo, you gotta come to Cali with me, man. Let's do your album right now. And I'm like, it wasn't like even no thinking in it. It was like, fuck, man. It was like, you gotta come down. I need you to come right now. I'm like, fuck, bro, I got a job. Like, what the, like, fuck it. But I did it. I dropped everything. We went out there. That was my dude. And we went out there, and they got me out there. We did the I signed with the label. We did the album. Got the album done. But during that whole process, I kind of felt like maybe trying to find the right words. I felt like my talent was overlooked a little bit.
Okay.
And my boy Emmanuel, he owned the label, and a real good dude. We got out there. We did the album, and I mean we did it big. It was he had us out there living lavishly. But like I said, I kind of felt like my talents was a little slept on with the label, so we kind of had a falling out. We went our it wasn't no animosity. We just kind of went our separate ways, but you know, we still check in, fuck with me. I remember shit times I got locked up once, man, and had nobody else to call, and my guy got me out, man, and put me. But anyway, so then in the process of making once I got out of that contract and was doing my own thing, it was like it wasn't no beefs. Like I said, it wasn't no animosity. It was just like. He was more like a father figure to me, and I felt like I was the overlooked son. So I was like, my goal was always to show him, like, yo, I mean, it should have been dope. But during that time, he passed away, and so we never got to have that that conversation. We never had that conversation. So, and like I said, it was like father figure, big brother, father figure type of cat, and I mean. How he passed, man, hurt me a lot because he wasn't the cat I'd see going out like that. Broke my heart, and so I don't like to talk about. I don't like funerals. I don't like death. I don't like none of that shit, man. I don't like to deal with it, engage in it. So I really wanted when this moment in time happened, I felt like my dude was supposed to be there with me. Like we was gonna put all the nonsense aside and just ride out together and. Never got that opportunity.
You bringing this story up, you putting it in the rhyme, this rhyme making it into somebody else's ears and they connect with it.
Yeah.
That energy and that connection that you had with him is being passed on through time. So I appreciate you for sharing that.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, you're right. It's here. It's hopefully somebody take that, but I never wrote again. So this particular, like I said, each iteration of this, I try to be very personal. And I think on this one in particular, this latest one is what I think I got probably my most personal. I just kind of just put it all out there and let the chips fall away. So
it's some grown man shit, man. Like it's hard to deal with some of the things that are on this particular track, and facing those is what you need to do. As an example for the little black kids that we've been talking about, they need to know how to do all of this too.
Yes.
So good on you, man.
Thanks, man. This last verse, this is a real. I tried to. So I have a number of children. People that know me know that I got.
I came into this world of statistics, the vision is clear. Yeah, a bit optimistic. I'm asking God for strength, and that's what Koran did. Made me wanna go.
So I'm gonna try to break each one of these one by one. So it goes back to the little black boy. We were statistics. We weren't supposed to be here. So we broken that chain in that sense. And in the creation, this goes all the way back to the first verse. God and my men, one of my baby's mothers, I was hanging out with at the time. Gave me my first child, but we was going through some shit, and so you ask God for strength, and so it's just a reference. I asked God for strength, and that's what Corinne did. Corinne's my oldest daughter, and she's a fucking badass. So and she inspires me every day. So wanted to make sure I gave her her proper due and shout out, and she's on the album as well. I mean, that's my baby girl. She's been my ride from day one. Like really got my head on in a lot of instances.
All with his pad, his pen shit. Lost time with Anthony, but I guess that was the plan for me still.
That's a tough one. So lost time with Anthony, but I guess that was a plan for me. So I guess I'm gonna say it in the camera. So me and one of my child's mother had a falling out to the point where she took my son from me. And it was so many moving parts in it too. Even family members conspired. And I don't know if I should be saying this shit on fucking camera. But family members conspired to keep my child away from me. For whatever reason, whatever she told, what was told to me eventually down the line was that it was because she threatened them if they told me where my child was, then she would not allow them to see any longer. So there's that. So it's lost time with Anthony. So I guess that was a plan for me still. I wish that I could turn back time and swallow my pride because I'm not going to put it all on her. I was wrong in. So to back up, I wish I could turn back time and swallow my pride. I really wish I could have. I wish I could have been the bigger man in that moment. And maybe we could have salvaged something that would allow me to continue to be present in my son's life when he was at an early age, when I really felt like he would have needed me in his life. But all for that, we got a good relationship now. We chop it up. We talk very regularly. In fact, I'm going to call him as soon as we're done with this and just chop it over, my guy. So we talk, we've met, we've hung out, and we let the past be the past. And so, again, this song is to exercise those demons and to put it out. And it might sound harsh and it might sound like mean towards the mother of my son. I don't want it to come off like that. I was bitter for an extremely long period of time. And I feel like this song helps me to exercise that demon. So that's that bar was for my son, Anthony. And then it flows into...
Wish that I could turn back time and swallow my pride. Put all this petty shit aside, but I guess it is what it is. And we just gotta let it ride. And if I'm keeping it real, that's the shit that made me high end with Keaton and Dale. Overprotective, questioning motives and highly reckless. Cause that's the type of pain that can mess up your head quick.
So, I did have two other sons after Anthony, Keaton, Kendall. They're actually on this album as well. But I'm just addressing that and just with them, I think I was a little overprotective with them. And it was based off because I made myself a promise that I would never lose another child in my life. Not like that. Not like that. And so for my other dudes, I fight. And I can be very bullheadish about them. And and just addressing that. That's what that bar is addressing, you know. Just type, because that's the type of pain that could fuck up your head quick, you know what I mean? Have you overlooking your blessings, trying to deal with stigma, medicating your stress with weed, smoke, and liquor, which is true, which is very, very true. I spent a time. There was a period of time in my life, man, where I spent at least a good decade, like in a cloud. Like I feel like I lost at least a good decade of my life because I don't remember it because I was fucking just under the influence of whether it was alcohol or weed.
And just to touch a little on that, it seems like, just off top again, you're looking at a better me.
Yeah.
You've recognized that using these outside sources to placate your moods, to help you throughout your life. Now you're willing to stand up and fight those instances as opposed to cower in a bottle or finding the bottom of a 12-ounce bag of weed.
100%. Yeah, man. Sometimes, I mean, it's the most painful shit, but you got to come face to face. Again, like I said, I really feel like this is and this particular track. So I think this might be the final iteration of the Blue Yanda songs because I feel like I've exercised demons that I feel like, in some instances, may have even held me back in my life. And so even as we're going through it now, it feels cathartic. Just getting it out. And just giving it to the world, you know what I mean? There's some people that may not know my story, some people that don't know my story. So it is a release, you know what I mean? And the flip side, I talk about demons, the follow-up album, Midlife Crisis, 2024. Watch out for that.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, so that's gonna be another play on words, my inner demons, life crisis, because we got to battle those demons. You can't run, you can't hide. You know what I mean? At some point, you gotta, if you're gonna consider yourself a man, you gotta stand and confront it. Sometimes you gotta be like, look, man, I'm the fucking problem, and you gotta address the issue. You know what I mean? So that's where we at with it right now. And then the last line.
You overlooking your blessings, trying to deal with the stigma, medicating your stress with weed, smoke, and liquor. Asking, was it worth it till I look in the mirror and it's crazy? Cause staring back is charisma, straight up.
So yeah, that just goes back to what we was talking about. At some point, you gotta stand up. And when especially like I said, losing a decade just to being intoxicated because you're trying to run from pain. And so that was I'm asking myself, was it worth it when you look in the mirror? And then it's crazy because staring back is Charisma, which is my youngest, and you know, I feel like it's come full circle because she's like, you know, that's my world. All my kids are my world, but this, you know, just wanting to be the example, you know, for her. And so it's like, it's crazy because staring back is Charisma. I hear all the time, all my kids look just like me. And whenever I post a picture of her or something, it's just like, that's your twin, that's your twin. I'm like, you know, she is. And she'll even jokingly say that. She's like, I don't even look like my mom, I look like you. I'm like, all right, well, cool, that's what's up, saying. I'm looking in the mirror, we looking in the mirror, and it's a mirror reflection. So it was just, again, that verse was just to recognize each one of my children as well as to acknowledge the roles that each one of them played in Yanda, the person you see before you. So, not perfect, I'm human, I make mistakes, you know what I mean? And, we either grow from them, or we run from them. So, that's it. Blue Yanda, part 3 off of Aliana Return Mix, dropping December 24th. I hope y'all feel it.
Oh yeah, that was easy.
Yeah, for you.
I'll fight.